So we're going to look at patterns in the 9 times table because they really help us to get faster at bringing back the fluency of our 9 times table. So the first thing I want you to do is look down at the 9 times table and see if you can spot any patterns. I'd like you just to pause the video. I'm going to put a pause symbol up here and just see what patterns you can find. There are like 5 or 6 patterns in here, and I'm going to show you a few of them in this video. So pause and see what patterns you can find. Okay, so the patterns that I can see. If I look at my 9s, so I've got 18, I've got 27, 36, 45. Have a look at what's happening to the 1s digit here. If I've got my 1s and my 10s digit, that's the 8 is in my 1s digit and the 10s are in my 1s. The 1 is in the 10s place value. So what's happening to the 1s digit? That's right. The 1s digit is decreasing by 1 every time. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, I made a mistake there. 90 down to 0. And can you see the 10s digit is actually going up by 1 each time? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's one pattern you can see in the 9 times table. Another pattern is that they're going up by 9 each time. We know that it's a 9 times table. So 18 plus 9 is 27. 27 plus 9 is 36. So that is another pattern that we can see. What about looking at the numbers? And can you see any numbers that look like they might be pairs? I can see that there's an 18 here and there's an 81 down here. So I've got an 18 and an 81. What about 36 and 63? 36 and 63. And we've got 27 and 72. What are the other ones? 45 and 54. And interestingly, we do have one for the 90, because we've actually got a 9 here. 1 times 9 is 9, and there's actually an invisible 0. We never write that 0, but there is a 0. If you think about the 9 is in the 1's value, we can put as many zeros on the front of here as we like. It doesn't change the value of the number itself, but 0 and 9, we can swap those over. So this pattern works all the way up from 1 times 9 to 10 times 9. This is 10 times 9 here, where we can swap the digits over and it still makes a number in the 9 times table. The third pattern that I want to show you is that the digits in the 9 times table, in fact, the way that I'm going to do this is to ask you to name me 2 digits that add together to make 9. So if you've got a piece of paper, you might want to have a think about 2 numbers that equal 9. You can pause the video now to see if you can write some of those down. Okay, so numbers that I know that add up to 9 are like 1 and 8 add up to 9. Maybe 3 and 6, maybe 5 and 4, and 7 and 2. These numbers, if we added them together, make 9. Can you see something interesting about if we looked at this as 18, if this was 18 and this was 36 and this was 54 and this was 72, what's interesting about those numbers when we look at them and we compare them to the 9 times table? That's right. We have an 18 here and an 18 here. We have a 36 here and a 36 here. We have a 54 here and a 54 here. And we also have a 72 here and a 72 over here. All of the numbers in the 9 times table going from 1 times 9 all the way up to 10 times 9, if we've got the digits and we add those digits together, the 1 and the 8, the 2 and the 7, they always add up to 9. Let me show you. 18, 27, 36. 1 and 8 equals 9. 2 and 7 equals 9. 3 and 6 equals 9. And it goes all the way up. 8 and 1, 8 plus 1 is 9. It even works with 9 plus 0. So that's a great way to check whether your answer, so for instance, if you had 6 times 9 and you knew it was 50 and you thought it was 55, well, when you take a 5 and you add it to the 5, well, actually equals 10. So this answer's wrong. And you get a chance to try it again because you know if you do that check, the answer is not going to be 55. In fact, the answer is actually 54. Now, the final pattern I want to show you, this is a bit like the cherry on the cake with 9 times table patterns. 1 times 9 is 9. Okay, so these are numbers in my 9 times table. If I go from the 2 times 9, so I start with a 2, what do I subtract to get to the tens digit here? 2, I subtract a 1. What about here? I start with my 3. What do I do to get to my tens digit? Well, actually, I subtract 1 as well. The 4 times 9, I've got a 4. And it's the same pattern. I have to subtract 1. So what about 5 times 9? What's the tens digit going to be? Well, it's going to be 5 subtract 1 is 4. I'm going to come back to this digit here. What about 6 times 9? 6 subtract 1 is 5. Okay, so what about 8 times 9? 8 goes to 7. 9 times 9 goes to 8. So I've got the first digit of the answers to my 9 times table here. And then what I'm going to do is think, okay, so I know that if I add the 2 digits together, I get to 9. So there's 8 plus something, I haven't got that digit yet, equals 9. What number goes in this space here? 8 plus 1 equals 9. So I'm transferring that 1 to here because I need these 2 digits to add up to 9. So 9 times 9 is actually 81. Let's try that again. 7 plus something equals 9. What is it? 7 plus 2 equals 9. 72. 5 plus what equals 9? Little bit trickier now. This is your number 1 to 9. 5 plus what equals 9? It's 4. 54. And this one here, let me just cross that off there. 4 plus what equals 9? That's 4 plus 5. And I know that as well because I could look at this one and I know that if it's a 4 at the front, it must be a 5 at the back. If it's a 5 at the front, it must be a 4 because of the 9. But I also know that I'm looking for similar numbers that have the digits that just swap over. let's just practice one more. We'll have a look at 7 times 9. 7 times 9 equals, we do 7, we subtract 1 and gets us to 6. Then we want to know 6 plus what equals 9, or 6 plus 3 equals 9, which gives us a 3 here. So the answer to 7 times 9 is 63. I'm just going to give you some numbers in the 9 times table, or not the 9 times table, and I want you to tell me whether they should go into, these are in the 9 times table, and these are not in the 9 times table. Okay, so I've got a box here, and I'm going to put some numbers in the 9 times table and not in the 9 times table. So if I put, I'm thinking about 81. Is 81 in the 9 times table or not in the 9 times table? I think 8 plus 1 equals 9. So therefore, it is in the 9 times table. I take my 9 and I take my 81 and I put that number. It is in the 9 times table. What about 45? 4 plus 5 is 9. So I can put 45 that is in the 9 times table. What about 73? I take my 7, I add 3, and I get, I get a 10. So 73 is not in the 9 times table. Oh, I'm going to give you a big number now. How about 2, 4, 2? If we add those digits together, what do we get? We take 2, we add 4, and we add 2. Well, actually, that gets us 8. So even though it's a 3-digit number, we can still find out that this is not in the 9 times table. What about 351? We take the 3, we add 5, and then we add 1. 3 plus 5 is 8, plus another 1 is 9. So this number here, 351, equals, when we add the digits together, it equals 9. So this number is in the 9 times table. We now have a way of checking our answers. So if you're trying to work out a number in your 9 times table, you can think, okay, so I think it's 18. Do those 2 digits add up to 9? 1 plus 8 or 8 plus 1? Yes, 8 plus 1 is 9. So this is a number in the 9 times table. And I'll just add it into this grid as well. So we've got lots of patterns for the 9 times table. We have the fact that they go up in 9s, the fact that when you write out your numbers, they go 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 on the 1s digit and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the 10s digit. We know that there are patterns of numbers, 1 and 8, 18 and 81, 3 and 6, 6 and 3, 36 and 63. So there are several patterns here. Oh, I missed one there. 0, 9 and 90, because the 0 is invisible here, but we can still swap those over. And then we think about the fact that 2 digits add up to 9 will be a number in the 9 times table. We add the 2 digits, the 1 and the 8 is 9, 2 and the 7 is 9. We add those together to make 9. And that helps us get, when we think about going from 5 times 9, we have to remember this subtract 1. That's what I've shown here. 4 subtract 1 is 3. 3 subtract 1 is 2. And that's a 10s digit. And then what we've got is a number at the end here that in the 1's place value that then makes 20 something. 2 plus something equals 9. And that number is that 7. So we can use all of those patterns to help us know when a number is in the 9 times table and when it's not in the 9 times table by adding those digits together. Good luck on your doing your drills next lesson. I want to see you practice so that you can get an even better score when you get do your drill for your 9 times table. Bye bye for now.